What is MFL? Well, the simplest way I could put this is if Football Manager and Fantasy Football had a virtual child, MFL was born. MFL is an online Football Manager game where you're competing against other real world managers to try and get up them leaderboards, win the cups, win the trophies, earn as much of the in game currency as possible to open reward packs at the end of the season, which lasts 6 weeks at a time, to bring your own players into your agency to just keep further progressing. So, yeah, that is MFL in a nutshell. It's fantasy football, football manager, child, you get MFL. If, like me, you grew up playing football manager, when you get to that 10, 15 season mark and they start bringing the regens into the game, think of MFL like that. It is football manager full of regens. They're not real world players, they're metaverse players, and it is absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to pop over to the MFL website and I'm going to show you how you can buy a club. You don't have to buy a club, you can play MFL without buying a club, and I'll show you that also, and how to get started. So when you first sign up for MFL, you will have your HQ, which is basically your agency. You are an agent. My agency is called Tato's Empire, and this will hold the clubs that you buy, the players that you buy, all your inventory, your schedule for your games, and everything is in your HQ. And clubs, I have 4 clubs in my agency. You can own as many clubs as you like. They can play in different divisions, depends on where you buy that club, and you can fill them full of your players or you can fill them full of loan players, but we'll get to that bit in a sec. So if you do wanted to buy a club, at the moment season 5 has come to a close and we're getting very close to the start of season 6, and you can buy a season 6 club promo pack for $80. That's about £60 UK sterling. And if you buy the promo, you will get a free starter pack that will give you 2 players to start off your agency. These can be a common, a limited, uncommon, rare, or legendary. Obviously, the lower that you go down here, the better the players, the higher the ratings they're going to be. And trust me, I've seen over Twitter, X, legendaries, rares, uncommons have come out of these starter packs. You can get very expensive players from a starter pack. It is unbelievable, some of the players that have been pulled. But if you didn't want to buy the promo pack, you can head over to the marketplace and go to clubs, filter it low to high, and you can pick up teams off the marketplace that other people are selling. $66 here, and in the Spark division, which is the lowest division. But if you wanted to play up in higher divisions, that's country, Spark, it goes ice, stone, iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Obviously, the higher up the pyramid you go, the more they're going to cost. Ice is the next league up, and you can buy an Ice League team for $74. So you don't have to buy it off MFL, you can buy it off someone else, but obviously you won't get that starter pack with it. But if you do use my link that is down in the description, it don't matter if you buy the starter pack or one off the market. As soon as you spend $25, basically, you will get a free card off MFL also, just for using the link. So now we get to the point. So whether you decided to buy a club or not buy a club, this point you have got to start scouting for players. You'll go into the transfer market to look for players that you think will work well in your club or your formation, or you go into the loan market to try and bring in players for loan, so you don't have to spend nothing. As soon as you've bought your club on MFL, that is yours. It don't disappear. It still has value, as you can see. Even if you bought the $80 one, you can still sell it for $60 on the market, even if you don't like the game. You always own that club, so you can always play MFL. And if you just loan in players, you don't have to spend another penny. You can loan them players in to try and push your team up the leaderboards. And if you just want to be an agent, obviously you won't be able to loan players in because you don't have a club. but you can buy players to loan out to other people to bring in MFL to open your own packs and keep trying to grow your agency that way. So if you've bought the club, if you haven't bought the club, we'll go take a look at the transfer market now on what you need to do if you want to get some players in. We're now back on MFL and we're going to head over to the marketplace. Just say you bought your club, theoretically you've bought your club and now you need to bring some players in. So what you can do, you can pick the position what you want up here. There's everything from goalkeeper to striker, cam, CDMs, left wings, right wing back, centre mids, everything's on there. And then you're going to search for your players. Say you want a goalkeeper, you join in the lowest division in Spark if you've bought the promo pack. So you don't want to spend a lot. And you could probably pick up a goalkeeper for $2. There you go. There's even $1 goalkeepers on there. You can go by rating. So you can get a 54 rated goalkeeper for $2. If this guy progresses, which I'll go through soon, what that means in the game, he will go up to a 55 rated, which means he'll go up to a limited and his value will go up. And obviously just clicking on their name, you can see their age, you can see their overall, their height, their position, what foot they use, and if they have progressed. And here is the progression. He started off as a 53. He is currently a 54 after 5 seasons. He's coming into his 6th season in the game. And this is something that's unique with MFL. Progression and their retirement age is hidden. Nobody can see it. So you can't just go out and buy worldy players that you know are going to progress to 99. Everything's hidden, so nobody knows, which makes this game absolutely fantastic. So you could find a hidden gem that progresses 20, 30 ratings and he becomes an 80, 84 rated player. And that's what you keep your fingers crossed for in MFL. You hit them good progressors and they just keep going up and up and up and getting higher rated. So this is where you'd buy your players off the transfer market if you wanted to fill your team with your own players. If you didn't want to do that, you bought the club and think, I don't want to spend no more, you go over to scouting. And now in scouting, say you're in Spark, so you'll go to the accepted division, go to Spark, you're looking for your goalkeeper, and you can give a rev share. So I don't want to give, say, no more than 50% of the revenue I'm going to make from the season to someone else. So you've got to try and get your players in for below 50%. So if we say we want to give out 2% for this goalkeeper, there you go. There's a list of goalkeepers that you can loan in for 2% rev share, some are 1% rev share. And if you look on the side, that some of them have minimum appearances. So this player has got to play 15 matches for you, or you will give out an extra 5% of your rev share. So as long as you play him for the 15 matches in your games, you will only give out 1%. You will not give out the extra 5. If you're only playing for 14, you will give out a total of 6%. So if they've got the match clause on there, just make sure you play them for the amount of matches that it says on the clause, otherwise you will give out extra MFL, which you don't want to be doing. So that is how you loan in your players, so you don't have to buy them and you get them for the whole season, so they will play for your club for that season. So once you've got your club, if you wanted to loan a player in, click on there, click make contract offer, pick the club you want to contract him to for this season and click make offer. The percentages on there, so you make the offer and they will accept it or reject it, and that's the way you bring in your players. Obviously in the marketplace you just click buy and you buy the player. But one thing I forgot to mention, when you do buy a player, make sure they're a free agent, because if they have a club by the side of them and you buy this player, you will not get him till the end of the season. So make sure they're a free agent. If they've got a club, you will not get that player. You can buy him and leave him with that other club and you will get the rev share. It says on the side here, some are 0, some have rev share. But yeah, I always make sure I'm buying free agents so I can put them straight into my team, ready for the upcoming season. So now if you've got your club, you've got your team, You will head over to competitions, you will hit register, and once you're in, that's it, you've registered. It will put you into a league, and it will also put you into a cup. But like I said, you can just be an agent if you want to, and if you want to do that, it's the same thing. You go to the marketplace, you buy the players to go into your agency. You won't have any clubs in here, but you will have players in here. And once you've got all your players in here, obviously they won't be assigned to a club. You can go over here, click set availability, open to offers, and you can set your percentages that you want to loan these players out for. And once you've done that, click save. It will put them on the loan market for you. So you'll then loan your players out to other teams and you get a percentage of their MFL. So once the season's over, you will see, if I go to one of my teams, take those Villa, once the season's over, we actually won the league with this team. You get awarded MFL per position. For this team, I got 10,500 MFL for coming first. And I also got really far in the cup with this team, I believe. And in the cup, we got to the semi-finals of the cup. And in this cup, I got 750 MFL for every group stage win, and you play 6 games. So I won 4 games, so it was another 3,000 MFL for that. And I also got to the semi-finals, so I got another 11,000 MFL. And once you get your MFL at the end of the season, you'll have a rewards day. They'll send all your MFL to you. And as soon as the rollover day is done, which is basically when it rolls over from season 5 to season 6, you can then head over to the store and you've got reward packs. And this is where you can spend your MFL on all different sorts of reward packs. Like you've got your common packs, these players go up to 54 rated. You've got your limited packs, these players go up to 64 rated. Uncommons up to 74 rated, and obviously they get more expensive the higher rated the players. And then you've got your rare player packs, they go up to 84, and then you're into your legendaries, which cost an absolute fortune. But yeah, that is the packs you get at the end of the season. Then you can decide, do I put these players in my own team, or do I loan them out? Or you can list them on the market and sell them to bring in players you may want. That you, if you don't like this player, you can bring in your own players off the marketplace to go into your team. So what happens next? Now you've bought your club, you've bought your players, you think you're ready to go, and you're coming up to the start of the league. If you're just being an agent with no club, you've loaned your players out, now you're just watching that MFL roll in towards the end of the season, and hopefully your players are progressing in other teams also. So like I say, you've got your clubs, you've got your players, now it's time. You go set your tactics, you pick your formation. The great part of the game, this is where I say this is like Football Manager in a nutshell. I'll show you the tactics, how you set them, how you put your players in there, and yeah, basically putting your best players in each position. And you can also set tactics for individual games. You can set player tactics, so individual player tactics for each position, and it's really quite in depth what you can do to see if you can outsmart your opponent and get them 3 points every match day. Let's go take a look at the tactics. One thing I did forget to mention, once you've bought your players off the market, they will be in your agency as a free agent. It won't have a club name here. All you've got to do is click on the 3 dots, make a contract offer, pick your club from the list and make the offer, and it will send in directly to your club. You don't have to accept it or anything because he's your player. He will go straight into your club. I just thought I'd mention it because I forgot to mention that. So you've got your club, you've got your players. We'll take a look at Tato's Villa. Once you're in your club page, you've clicked on manage. You can see these are all the games I have been playing. You've got your squad, you've got your contracts, and then you've got your tactics. And when you go into your tactics, this is where it gets fun. There is multiple formations you can choose from. If you want to take a look at the formations before you go into the transfer market to think, yeah, I'm going to play a 4-4-2, So I'm going to need left back, right back, 2 centre backs, left mid, right mid, 2 centre mids, 2 strikers, obviously goalkeeper. So yeah, and then you could buy your players to suit the formation that you want to play, because I play a 4-2-2, so I need CDMs, cams, strikers. I don't need the left mids, right mids, or centre mids. And also you will need subs, because your players have got energy and they will fatigue during games. It's not massive. It can be 1%, 2%, 3% in a game, take them down to like 97%. But once they get under the 93% mark, instead of being fresh, they'll just go down to fit. And I believe there's like a slight drop in their stats the worse they get. You do get some clubs in some of the lower leagues, they're doing terrible. They won't rotate, and all these will be red, and they will just end up forfeiting the games. I think as soon as you've got like 4 players in the red, could even be 3, you will just forfeit the games automatically, and the other person will get the win. So you've got to make sure you have got rotation for your players in your squad. So I have a rotation goalkeeper, rotation right back, left back. I got a rotation centre back, rotation CDM, rotation cam, and a rotation striker. So I can swap my players around, making sure they are always fit for the upcoming games. So there's your formations. There's your player list, so you can literally just click on it and you just select the player you want to go in that position, or you can just drag him across. If you click on the dots, drag him across, and it will put him in that position instead. So it's nice and simple to put your players into the team. Once they're in there, you can click on this little arrow down here, and this is where you can set individual tactics. You can set them to be controlled in directness, balance, very direct. You can tell him to take less long shots, more long shots, cross more often, cross less often, dribble more often, dribble less often, or you can keep him on balance. You can tell him to make a risky pass. His position freedom, you can have him on high so he gets up and down the pitch. You can have him on low so he just stays back and defends. You can have him on pressing so he presses the opponent as soon as they get the ball. The aggressiveness on the tackles, and what you want to do out of defence. Play out of defence, clear the ball more often, or obviously balanced again. And you can set these tactics on every individual player. You also have goalkeeper ones, control, balance, or direct, play out of defence, or clear the ball. And then you're coming into your team instructions, and this is where you put your wits against other managers to see if you can outsmart them. If they're playing a narrow formation, can you exploit that? Have wingers, get them wider so they're really running at their fullbacks. In possession, there's your attacking width. You can pick your directness. You can prioritise a flank if you think you're stronger on one side or the other. You can set your team to take more long shots, less long shots, crossing. You can tell them to dribble more often if you've got good dribblers. Then out of possession, here you can pick your team depth. Do you want to press them really high, or do you want to sit back and hopefully they don't break your back line? And then your compactness. How tight do you want to be in defence? You want your team spread out, or do you want it really narrow? So this is all on you, really. You can pick the tactics you think are going to win matches and that you want to play. And this is the default tactic. But when you've got your matches set, when the leagues are brought out, there'll be a list here of the next 5 matches, and you can click on them and you can set your tactics for each individual match. You can set five teams, 5 tactics for the next 5 days, and you can leave it. But just be careful, if you do get a red card and they are in that team for that game, you will forfeit that match. So just check you haven't got no red cards for the upcoming games. And then you can also pick your set piece takers, free kicks, indirect and direct. You've got corners, you can pick your corner takers, and you can pick your penalty takers. So you can literally pick everything you want to do in this game. Like I say, you got your set pieces, you got your team instructions, you got your individual player instructions, and you have also got your formations. So that is a look at the tactics that you can pick for your team going into the matches. And if we just take a quick look, I don't know, should we go with, let's go back to Villa. They won a lot of matches. You play against people with a lot of different tactics. This team here, he wasn't very good. I actually beat him 8-0, and yeah, I got some very, very, very high match ratings here. And good match ratings are important. And that is because the higher match ratings you get, the more XP they get per game to help towards these players' progression. So as you can see, my centre back, he has progressed from a 78 to a 79, which is amazing. And this player, was it Luca? I don't believe it was Luca. It was a player called Mata, and he was an uncommon for me. He was 74 rated, and he has progressed to a rare to a 75 this season, which is absolutely fantastic. Your players also train every day. So as soon as the season starts, match day one, you have training at 9 a.m. UK time every morning, finishes at 9:30. By 10 o'clock, you can usually see how your players have progressed. They don't always go up a +1 overall, but they may just go up a +1 in a certain stat. If it's defender, he might go up +1 defending, +1 physical, but they get training every morning and a match day every day, which really helps your players progress. So the higher match ratings you can get, the better XP you're going to get. And in training, it's not an exact science, but you want to keep, if you can, your players like very similar rated. So if we take a look at, not take it was 1982 for next season, I tried to keep them as close rating as possible, because if you have a player in there that's massively higher rated than everybody else, they will not train as well as the rest of them, because they're a lot better rated than the rest of the team, so they're training with worse players, so they won't train as well. And it is your top 16 players that this goes off. So they'll take an average of your top 16, and that is how the training works. So yeah, you don't want a massively high rated player in there and then rubbish players with the rest of him, because he will just not train well at all. So if you pack a really high rated player and you're in Spark, you're better off loaning him out to a higher division team. He will train better and he will bring you more MFL back into your club for the end of the season. Now we're going to move on. We have a thing called the development center, and you can send players to the development center. I use it for younger players, and this basically, you pay MFL to put them in there, but they are guaranteed 120% of their progression if you put them in for 4 seasons. So you don't have to worry about training them, you don't have to worry about them playing matches. They are guaranteed to get that 120% and see if they progress. So I'll take an example. I chucked Pacheco in here. I packed him as a 17-year-old, so I thought chuck him in there for 4 seasons. He'll still be 21 years old when he comes out, and I can use him for a long time, and hopefully he progresses really well. He started off as a 52 and he progressed 2 ratings in 1 season, so he is now a 54 rated. One more progression, he is up to a limited card, and he's still got 3 seasons to go in the development center. And while we're talking about players, they do have a retirement age. Like I said, we don't know what it is, but the youngest they can retire is 32. But you do get a little warning by the side of your player on your player list if they are going to retire. It lets you know 3 seasons before. So if they get that warning at the start of the season on rollover day, you know you've got that player for 3 more seasons. If he's one of your best players, you can play him for the 3 seasons, let him retire, or you can try and sell him for a little bit cheaper and try and get some of the money back. Or if he's one that you got out of a pack and you didn't pay for him, it could be a bit of profit to go towards another player. But yeah, that's the development center. I use it to send my young players to see if we can help them grow, progress a bit quicker and get them up them ratings. There are some crazy players that come out of this dev center. I see on Twitter, I think Net put it in one of his videos. Someone put a player, he could have been, I think it was 52 rated, could have been 42 rated, and he come out of the dev center as a legendary player. It was like 89 or 90 rated. At a young age, it's probably worth now about $500-600 just because of the ratings, and I think he paid about $5 for this player. He progressed like crazy, so it does happen. It's not going to happen to every player, but it's unknown. That is the great bit about this game. You don't know. This player, he could stop at 56, he could carry on to an 80. You just don't know where their progression is going to end. So I really like the dev center for my young players, and I really like the progression aspect of this game. So if MFL is something you think you would be interested in, like I said, I will leave my link down in the description. If you sign up using that link, you will get a free player as soon as you spend that first $25. So if you buy a club, you do that instantly. If you just want to be an agent, spend $25, you will get a free player added to your agency. And please don't forget, guys, if you do enjoy the videos, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hopefully if you do sign up, you enjoy as MFL as much as the rest of us, because honestly, it is amazing. Thanks very much for watching, and have fun.